welcome. My name is Andrew P. Harrow for a British News Flash magazine from Greater London, which is also known as Middlesex. This is the little town of Sudbury Hill, London borough of Harrow. And the question is how to run out from debt into a successful business. Success and business in the United Kingdom. Is this possible? Well, I've got an interview with the manager and the owner of DBX Marketing, and he has quite a lot of interesting information how to have some success in business in the United Kingdom.
That's what's happening. Yeah. Peterborough and Nottingham. That's the best you've got.
2 years ago, the life of this man was totally different. He was in debt. But then, some people had the idea that he should start a business. Danny Hill is today the manager and the owner of DBX Marketing in Sudbury Hill, London. He had success in business. He started with a debt, but now he is a successful owner of a company of DBX Marketing.
I'm going to check out the train routes and then see who's on which routes as such. Alright, because they don't always realise where they can work. So I'm still on it. Well, yeah, if you sort of like, obviously if you do arrange something else, then just let me know and I'll cease the efforts. But I mean, it's pretty 50-50 at the moment. Alright. Alright, I just thought I'd just let you know before you tell me off on Monday. Alright. Alright, Dan, I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
DBX Marketing, Danny Hill. How old are you?
38.
What kind of business do you run?
In the actualities of what we do, it would be a promotions agency specialising in cosmetics, fragrance in the retail sector.
When it came to your mind to open your own business, to run your own business?
It wasn't my idea. Used to work for an agency doing a very similar thing. Left them after about 6 months. Some of the clients from that company, basically over a period of about 3 months, I had numerous phone calls from them asking me to set up an agency because they were no longer happy with the service they were getting provided by the previous company. I was offered a considerable amount of work on a plate before I even had a company. So I had clients before I had any staff or any idea what I was going to be doing with them.
You've had any idea how to operate or how to run a company before?
Not at this level. I've been part of management teams, and I get that. Scotland. I've got a couple of girls in Scotland. Is it anywhere near either Edinburgh, Glasgow or Aberdeen? How do you spell it? B-R-A-H-E-A-D. Okay, I'll have to have a look. When's it for? Oh, don't say tomorrow. Because I've only got about 3 girls in Scotland. And, alright, let me send out a little message. Okay.
Are you prepared to open your business?
I didn't really. I did it the wrong way round. I had clients first, then I had some contacts who I matched up with the clients. I then sent the staff into the stores to work for the clients. I then contacted the head office, and I didn't even have a company name when I started. I'd had girls working for me for a month before I had even a company name, an accountant or anything. Not the right way to do it. However, it did work at that particular moment in time. Normally, you come up with a business plan and a strategy plan, and you document and put a time schedule on it and do it all properly. This was a very ad hoc, impromptu affair, so not the model that I would advise for anyone else to copy.
For how long, how many years do you operate your business now?
This one's been going 2 years. First year we turned over in excess of £500,000, so it went pretty well for the first year.
It comes to the point of money. When you start a business, usually you have to invest a huge amount of money. What did you have the investment, or how much money you have invested to start your business?
I was in debt when I started. I had no money. That was the reason I started the business. Ordinarily, yeah. But I suppose I never needed any money to do on marketing because I had clients approach me before I started the business. I had contacts who were makeup artists, girls who were willing to go and do the makeup on counters, so I didn't have to invest any money or time in recruitment or training because they were already trained. All I needed was a mobile phone, which I already had, and pencil and paper. That's how I started.
So you started your business with a mobile phone and with a pencil and with a paper, without money?
With no money, no computer, no office, and not much of an idea.
How many people do you have on your books?
On the books, just under 1,000 nationwide, give or take.
And how long took it you to get all these people on your books?
About 6 months. About 6 months.
How do you operate your business?
In which respect?
How do you manage it? What's your daily duty?
Mine is not really that much. There's the office side, which I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do with payroll. I have nothing to do with invoicing. I tend to look after clients, recruitment, training, placement of the girls. I spend most of my time on the phone, and I have quite unusual hours. Sort of the phone can ring from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight, and I'll always answer it. So lots of time in the middle of the day I'm sat around watching telly, waiting for the phone to ring. If it rings, all hell can break loose, and sometimes it doesn't ring, and I have a nice, relaxed, easy day.
So you still operate your business by phone, by pencil, and by paper?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we are computerised now. We've been computerised since the 2nd or 3rd month, but I try not to do too much on computers.
In which areas of the United Kingdom do you operate? In which areas do you offer your services?
Pretty much everything inside England and Wales. Pretty much everything from a line Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool, South. We've done pretty much every major population, every major town, and a few little places in between as well. We have been offered work in places like Isle of Man, Scotland. We did bits in Wales. We've been offered Northern Ireland and Channel Islands, but they're a little bit too awkward for me, and a little bit too, particularly something like the Channel Islands, is logistically not feasible for me.
Do you believe it is easier for people in the United Kingdom to run a business, medium-sized business, successful in the United Kingdom compared to the European community?
That I can't say. The sort of business we are is a service industry, and the UK seems to be geared up very well for service industries, whereas I think a lot of the European countries seem to be geared up more for, like, agriculture seems to be a very big thing in France, technology and manufacturing in Germany, and engineering. We don't seem to have so much agricultural space, and we don't seem to have much engineering ability, really. I mean, a lot of the light industries now have just been taken away from the UK, so service industry seems to be what we're geared up for, and our tax systems, our education systems, everything seems to be geared up now for providing personnel and people for the service sector, and not necessarily for manufacturing.
If someone would offer you to start a new business, the same thing as you opened it 2 years ago, would you do it again?
differently.
In what sense differently?
I was in a position, I viewed the setup of this company as a way out of the situation I was in, whereas really I should have viewed it as a vehicle to move my life and the people around me, their lives forward.
You have some success in your business. Are you happy with the success did you reach your goals?
This year's been tough. This year's been very tough. The first year, from when we started in December 2004, the invoicing from December, January and February, which was paid into the accounts in January, February, March, totalled £8,000. That was the gross for 3 months' work. The similar sort of time frame, October, November, December, we grossed about £175,000, which there was a lot of rapid growth. So in that respect, yes, we built a lot of strategy plans to develop the business, but a slight recession, a downturn in the retail sector of about 2% has been enough to affect us by about 75% of our business.
From your perspective as a business owner of a medium-sized company, what's your advice for the government, for the local government, to make life a bit easier for people which are willing to carry the risk to start their own business?
That's a hard one because of the business we are. We don't have infrastructure, we don't have offices, we don't have manufacturing, we don't have supplies to purchase, shops to fill or anything like that. We deal in people. People live in their own homes, I don't need to stick them in a warehouse. People get themselves to work, I don't need to stick them in a lorry and drive them there. So for my sort of business, it's mainly sort of the tax breaks, which the government's not too bad on. There are certain areas where they offer expertise and advice, and the tax brackets aren't too bad by some European standards. If I was in manufacturing, I would never have even attempted. I would have found it far too daunting, far too difficult, because the initial investment of securing premises, lorries to actually move the goods, manufacturing equipment to make the goods, people then to train and operate the machinery, all costs money. You've only then got the thing, if you can get it onto a company's shelves, then that's great, and you've still got to sell it. That comes down to marketing, so you need another budget there. So you're talking large monies to invest with a high risk. I would not like to actually launch a tangible take-it-home product. I think that would scare me far too much, and I would never have bothered.
What are your plans for the next 2 years?
The retail sector at the moment is on a bit of a decline. It seems to have stabled out. The girls that are on the database who do the makeup and retail and promotion side, a lot of them are dancers, models, actresses, singers in bands. It would be then to exploit that database in those areas. So rebrand the company towards modelling, rebrand it towards acting, dancing, singers, musicians, and it's basically the same database, but then rebrand it for each business sector. It'll still be under the name DBX, but DBX castings or DBX models or DBX musicians. You can also then do event management, which I think is where I'd really like to go, doing dance parties, putting in dancers and singers and getting the light people in and DJs and things like that, and doing real top end parties and dance parties, functions, that sort of thing. I do have a catering background, so doing that sort of thing I think that would be something that I'd like to do, but I think it'd be more of a hobby than a business.
How you have found your name for business DBX marketing?
When I started, as I said earlier, I rang up the head office and I'd had girls working for this particular client for about a month, and they sprung the question on me, what's your company name? And I didn't have one. And at the time I used to sign my text messages DBX, which was Danny Boy with a kiss, and a lot of my friends have always called me DB, and the X was a kiss, and I always signed my text messages DBX, and it was the first thing that came to my head, so DBX Limited, it stuck.
Have you found any kind of support through friends or through government which are going to help you to manage your business very well or to operate it better?
Government, no, but that's not to say it's not there. It's to say that I've never really needed it. And again, the sort of business I'm in is so simple. There's no manufacturing, there's nothing complicated. So to actually, I don't need to get grants or development grants or get involved with the different aspects of European law and the grants you can get from European law for brand site development or anything. It's more of a question of, I had a database, I had a client, I married the two together, and I put a small percentage in the middle. Friends, family, very supportive. A lot of the people who work for me, and I do hate that expression, I prefer the expression work with me, but they are friends, and if they start as an employee as such, they soon become friends. So, yeah.
How you get in touch with your clients?
As in obtaining new clients.
Yeah.
I was lucky that the first client came to me. They came to me through dealing with me with other companies. So my reputation, I've always been very service orientated, and the company motto sums it up. We deliver what we promise, and only promise what we can deliver. And I think as long as you stick to that, you can't really go wrong. New clients have come on board because they've seen the calibre of our personnel, and the calibre of our personnel is because we do vet them, we train them, we work with them, and we make sure that if we put them on a counter, that they actually are able to integrate and work well with the other personnel on that counter. We don't like our girls to be outsiders. They need to integrate into part of that team. So reputation and word of mouth, getting out there, talking to people, people asking questions, and obviously networking, going to sort of functions, bars, talking to people in coffee shops. You never know, you could be sat next to someone who's very scruffy, jeans and t-shirt, and they could have a large company who might offer you something because they understand where you're coming from and they relate to you as an individual. And then it's up to you to actually prove that you can deliver what you've promised. So again, it comes down to not promising what you can't deliver and only promising what you can deliver.
Coming up to the profile of a business owner, what kind of education you went through? What's your profession?
Education, I had very little education. I left school at 15. I got my, as they were then, O-levels. I think I got 8 O-levels and 7 CSCs, which was good. But I've never been academic. I've never understood the world of academia. It seems to be one of those things where it gives you lots of information, but to me, education is about true understanding, not regurgitation of facts, figures and theories. It's about understanding and developing your own theories that fit in with your own philosophy and your own persona. So education has never been, I will never judge anyone on their educational sort of attributes because it doesn't really warrant much to me.
Are you happy with your company and with the goals you have reached right now?
There's always room for improvement. content would be a word. I'm happy. We'll see in 2 years' time.
European community, and the European community, the new currency, the euro appeared, which is not this stable, and there's still the British pound in the United Kingdom, and people obviously love it. Do you believe the United Kingdom should keep their British pound?
I do, absolutely. Why? I'm not sure if it's because I have that island mentality. This is our island, it's our shores, and it's our currency, and we've always used it. And in the old days, everything, silver and gold, was priced in pounds, which made it very, very stable. I think the advent and the strength of the US dollar, which obviously oil's priced in, has created a massive stable currency across the pond. The euro, from the figures you get relayed to us in this country, prices have gone up, retail sector's declined, although there probably are other benefits. We'll keep the pound, I hope we do.
There are a couple of risks to operate a own company, own business. How you secure and how you deal with the risks, for example, if you're getting sick? Who runs the company?
Well, in my industry, in my particular setup, it's not too much of a risk on that. We have chemo insurances, so if something does happen to me, then the projected profits would actually be paid to me from an insurance company. Even if the company folded for 5 or 6 months, I would get those monies due. There are people around me who could do my component. You don't have to be that clever to do my job. All you have to do is wait for the phone to ring and know who to call when it does ring. It's not that complicated, so you can pretty much cover yourself on that one. I think the biggest risks are with compliance issues, your VAT, tax, things like that. Again, we outsource that to accountants. We don't do it in-house at all.
So you advise to secure the business, own businesses to insure?
If there is anyone in the company who, if they were removed from the company, it would be detrimental to the company's existence, then yes. Yeah, I mean, I think we pay £20 a month, something like that. And if something did happen to me, if I lost my voice or lost my fingers so I couldn't dial, then they would pay me X amount of thousands per week to actually replace the lost revenue. Or I could obviously use that to train someone else to do what I was doing.
You're one manager in one company. Could you imagine to have other managers on your side?
With the run-up to Christmas, we did. We were launching a lot of new companies in Christmas. We were hoping to launch about 4 or 5 different aspects of the business: the modelling side, the promotions, the dancing, the castings, and a few other things as well. That didn't eventuate, mainly because of the downturn in the retail sector. So we decided to concentrate on what we do best at the moment, which is the cosmetics, the fragrance and the promotions, particularly within the retail sector. Anything outside that would be diluting my time, and I think it would also make a few of the clients nervous that we weren't focusing on them enough. So we had to sort of consolidate what we were doing, stable the ship as such. We were growing far too quickly, far too fast. We did have a point where there were 6 division managers in place, and everything was going ahead far too quickly, so we really sort of streamlined and got back to basics.
You spend many hours on the day, during the day, on your phones, on your mobile phones. What does a mobile phone mean to you?
It's like a child. It's annoying when it's there, but you can't live without it. I suppose the easiest way to do that, it's, when it's quiet, you want to know if everything's okay, and when it's ringing all the time, although it can be profitable and fulfilling at the same time as a 50-50, whether it's going to be problems to resolve or it's like a child. Your child's around your feet and you don't know whether it's going to knock something over or spill something, whether it's going to make you laugh or cry. And when the child's not with you, you miss the little mites. So yeah, I describe it as my little child. It's there, it needs looking after, and it looks after me.
If someone who's got interested now to meet you or a new client, how we are able to reach you?
On a mobile phone. Mobile phone or emails, obviously.
Your mobile phone numbers?
The business ones are 0771 80 50 90. That's the easiest one.
And they can reach you there almost any time?
That's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That one. People have called me at 5 o'clock in the morning with excuses to get off the day's work, and they're mortified when I actually when they ring me and I answer at 5 AM. But I will do.
Thank you for this interview. I wish you only the best for the future.
Thank you.
This was with special coverage, success and business in the United Kingdom with the manager and owner of the company DBX Marketing. For more information, you feel free to call him at any time and to ask him more questions about how to have certain success in business in the United Kingdom. This was Andrew P. Harrow for British Newsflash magazine on www.britishnewsflash.co.uk. Thanks for joining this program. I wish you only the best. Take care and see you soon.